In the port city of Chattogram, Bangladesh find themselves completely at sea, not knowing what to do against this Indian team that's getting better session by session. Dinesh Karthik, always the man with the answers, and this is a scorecard that's not going to read a pretty story for the Bangladeshi fans. India piling all the agony, two hundreds in the second innings, one for Gill, the first for Gill, and number 19 for Pujara, which meant that Bangladesh have a massive mountain to climb, a target of 513, which has never been done here or anywhere else on the planet. Bangladesh, no loss at 42 in their fourth innings with lots and lots of time to play. Dinesh Karthik joins me, Manish Batavia, on Craig Bus Chatter. DK, Bangladesh have a mountain to climb, but they don't have the tools to be able to scale that peak. The result is obvious, isn't it?
It does feel like the result is inevitable. I think we all know scoring 517 on a slow wicket, which is aiding a little bit of turn on day 3, and it's probably going to get slower. So I don't think scoring is a possibility, but the only way they can in any way cause a little bit of mental harm to Team India is if they're able to bat the whole day tomorrow. That would be something that would be pretty annoying for Team India. But for the moment, in all sense, I think the Indian team is on the driver's seat.
Now, Bangladesh might want to turn the clock back and think of what happened, what they did in January to the World Test champions New Zealand. That's their only Test win this year so far. They've never beaten India. But there's someone else who turned the clock back and reminded us of his Saurashtra days. Our producer reckons that he 8 balls for the entire second session, and post he turned into Pac-Man Pujara, digesting all of Bangladesh's hapless spinners. We saw a different Pujara in the second innings as compared to the first one. Here he was playing more down the track, a lot of lofted shots as well, and it's a rarity to see Pujara bat with the kind of freedom he did, because this is rare for the crisis man of India's Test team, isn't it?
Most definitely. I think we're all used to him batting at a certain tempo, which is obviously not very high in terms of strike rate. He's generally known to absorb the pressure by just blocking out a lot of the balls. It was good to see him come out and do what he's done. I think a lot of this comes from the confidence that he's got while playing for Sussex. He's led Sussex recently in England when he decided to play county cricket there in the ODI tournament there. We saw a few tidbits of videos here and there on social media where he was playing the scoop, the lofted shot. He didn't employ those kind of shots, but he made sure that he got 100, which was eluding him for some time now, and that should calm him a lot before the big series that is coming up. But well played to him. I think the way he's batted in both the innings shows that he's in good nick, and that is good for Indian Test team cricket right now.
You know, they say cricket is a mirror to life, and if that is truly the case, then the last 4 years or 3 years have been a test of Pujara's patience and perseverance. His last 100 before today came at Sydney, was 193 against Australia. I think it was in January 2019. This goes to show how much this means and what this can do. It can add a couple of years to Pujara's career, or is that overstating the impact of this 100?
I think it obviously has, in many ways, giving him a strong hold in the current Indian team, in the current setup right now. It's very hard in Indian cricket to predict 1 year, 2 years down the line. If things don't go well in one series, then it looks very different to what it is. Then we start talking about age, the fact that whether a youngster will do better, and those kind of questions will creep up. But for the moment, he looks like a solid number 3, the number 3 that India would want, the number 3 that India is used to. And Pujara, and the fact that he brings his defensive skills consistently to the table, is something Team India will be very happy about.
Some naughty, mischievous people chuckled on Twitter saying, IPL auction coming up next week. And he just wants to tell the bidders that, listen, hang on, I can play this brand of cricket as well.
I mean, to be
fair, the truth is he hasn't registered for the auction, so.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't think he's having any keenness in playing the IPL. I think he's tried over a period of time, and he realizes that maybe that's not his cup of tea. So he's obviously, spending a lot more time during the summer in England and, honing his skills and playing some cricket that he enjoys playing at his stage of his life. It's not about trying to prove a point to anyone. It shouldn't be the case. It's about, where do I enjoy playing? Where do people admire me? Where do people enjoy the fact that I bat this way? And I think those answers are definitely something that he's very well aware of, and that is not the IPL for him. And I think that is obviously playing for, going out in the summer and playing in England. And I think he enjoys doing that. He takes his family along, and credit to him, he's found a niche for himself there. And that's how you need to progress as a cricketer, as a human being. I think when you realize that there is a battle that you can't win, then you probably need to move on to another battle. And I think he's gone on to that path.
I refer to him as the crisis man of India's test team. More often than not, when he comes into bat, he's got to do the saving job for the Indian team. There are some who say, listen, if he can play like this in the second innings, why not do it with more regularity? Why can't he open up more and play these kinds of shots a lot more freely, even otherwise?
So it boils down to the mindset. What is the mindset right now? It is a mindset of, if I get out playing a shot, it's fine. If I get out playing a rash shot, it is fine, because we're going to declare they expect me to score runs at a certain tempo. But when it comes to bat in the first innings, what is it? Don't play a rash shot, Pujara. All we expect you to do there is bite time, stay at the crease, and that is what he is good at, and that is what he is used to. And he won't, in many ways, give any excuse if he gets out playing a rash shot. He'd rather accept the fact that a good ball has gotten him than be upset, than do something that is not in his usual grain, which is to go out there and play flamboyant shots. He is somebody who's going to grind an innings consistently, and many ways that has been sometimes hard on him, because unlike domestic cricket, in international cricket, you will always have bowlers coming at you and at good speeds with a lot of variations when it comes to spinners. And they're clever bowlers at the top of the game representing the country. Sometimes when he's played a lot of balls, when he's tried to play a lot of balls, he always gets one that has been an absolute jaffa. And that has been his downfall at times. Hence, raising the tempo a little bit is fine to make sure that, he is on top of the bowler a lot of the times, but not to the extent that he did it in the second innings today. That was in many ways given the free will to go out there and play all sorts of shots and try and get to his 100 as fast so that they could declare and then move on to bowling to Bangladesh.
Let's now talk about that young man from Fazilka, Punjab. Today, Friday, the 16th of December, is going to be etched in his heart, in his memory forever and ever. Shubman Gill, maiden Test 100. It's got to be special. Regardless of who it is against, what the conditions are, a first Test 100 is special like nothing else.
Absolutely. I think this 100 has eluded Shubman for a while now. When he set foot in Australia and did what he did, people were expecting it to come much earlier, but that's the beauty of cricket. Sometimes it really, in many ways throws you all the challenges possible, and you got to come up with a lot of answers. I think he's shown the world how good he is, but 100 in Test cricket has been eluding him for some time, and he will heave a massive sigh of relief, not only to the fact that he got the 100, but the way he's batted, the tempo that which it batted, he makes batting against spin look rather easy. And the fact that he's very good at the short ball, opening the inning. So he's showing credentials that is required to be a world-class opener. It is good that he's got his name in one of the Test 100 list, and that is something he's going to savor for a long time. His dad will be really proud of him. I know his dad wouldn't have been too happy with his choice of shot in the first inning, but he still went on to play a few sweeps, but not the lap sweep, and it was great to see him get that 100 today.
I wonder what his dad and Dinesh Karthik think of the two shots he played to get from 90 to 100, a reverse sweep for 4, and then a 6 to get to triple figures. In another era, when Dinesh Karthik was in school, the coach would have admonished the batsman saying, you can't do that. But not in this era. It's a different world that we live in, don't we?
I think with the way things are unfolding in world cricket, I think that is the way they expect you to get 100 with a bang. And I think, he in many ways answered it. It was good to watch. The millennials who come and play these days, they have a different mindset altogether. And that's the mindset you need to take Test cricket forward. And it was great to watch him bat the way he did. The fearlessness is something that is of absolute necessity when you play for Team India. And it is great to see him show that.
I love the 100, but what I loved a little bit more was his celebration. These days, you see a lot of the show bravado where batsmen throw both their hands up in the air and they say a few things, but Shubman Gill, in contrast, just bow down, and that was that. Perhaps goes to show, give us a glimpse into the kind of person or the personality is. Augurs well in the long run, doesn't it?
He's been the first time he got selected in IPL. I was proud to have him in my team. He batted a tough slot at number 7, which is difficult for most experienced players. But the young kid coming in there did a fabulous job. I think he was able to understand pressure. He played some lovely innings through the time. It was only a matter of time before he got the opportunity to bat up the order, and then he made it count. But always a very hard-working cricketer, enjoyed things off the field. But when it came to his cricket, when it came to his workouts, when it came to his recovery, he was on point with his diet plans as well. So I really admire the hard work that he's put in. I think among his peers, all were running at the same speed, but somehow he's taken off a little further than the others just with his work ethics, I would think.
To do so, to play an innings like this in Rohit's absence, clearly great for Team India currently. But those who try to look into the future, look into that crystal ball, saying, hang on, we've got someone who is a solid option to open the innings for India if and when Rohit does say goodbye. Although Rohit does have a lot of cricket left.
I mean, yes, I think right now he is obviously the designated third opener. He would know probably if Rohit comes, he might not find a place in the team as an opener. But that's the reality of Indian cricket. We have a lot of household names, and they're all part of the side as well. So it's only a matter of time when he gets a full time gig as an opener in almost all formats. And you can see the skill is there, the hunger is there, and that is of utmost importance right now. And both of that he's got in umpteen in a lot of quantity. So for the moment, I think he is used to sometimes doing well, but realizing that if obviously somebody who's more experienced comes in, he might miss out on an opportunity. But you can see that has only made him work harder, and he's come back a better batsman and a better cricketer every time.
And at times, the luck of the draw will go your way as well, because Mohammad Siraj's body blow to Ibadat resulted in Bangladesh having two of their two best bowlers, including Shakib, out of action for most of the day. That helped matters as well. So Bangladesh were clearly, they didn't have their chosen personnel on the field to trouble India.
Most definitely, I think it was a good effort by Khalid Ahmed there in trying to get those bumpers. The problem with bowling a lot of bouncers is your spell can't be too long, because every bouncer requires a lot of energy, and hence he couldn't bowl for too long in the day. And with Ibadat being injured, thanks to Siraj, and Shakib obviously right from the outset couldn't bowl much, that leaves you two of the main bowlers not being there. That literally leaves you two spinners to be bowling throughout the day. A lot of the times they would have ideally liked two left arm spinners because two right handers were at the crease, but they couldn't do that change because of the kind of options they had. Probably one of the easier attacks with the loss of those two bowlers, and they be playing test cricket. It's not at all times that you'll get an easy attack to score 100 against, but you still need to make it count, and credit to Pujara and Shubman for doing that. But Bangladesh obviously looked rather hapless on the field because of the fact that they didn't have many bowling options to choose from.
Bangladesh searching for a positive in this test match so far. Taijul Islam, how do you rate him as the lead bowler today?
I think he's obviously bowled well. A lot of times bowling partnerships are important, and I feel the second innings, why he couldn't create the impact that he probably has had in other test matches, is because of the fact that he needs pressure from the other end as well. A lot of the times you need to have a bowling partnership in tandem, and that was missing for a large part of this game, especially in the second innings. When you're not able to create pressure from the other end, then they're not looking to take sometimes too many risks against you, and that's what happened. That's what transpired today. So for me, Taijul Islam had a decent game, nothing earth-shattering about it, but he needs another bowler in Shakib to keep that pressure where people are looking to take him on, and that's how you induce errors. Whereas Mehdi Hassan, they were far more positive. They were getting the runs on one side, so through a major part of the game, they weren't taking too many chances against the Taijul.
We can't not talk about Kuldeep, India's bowling star so far. Quickly wrapped up Bangladesh's innings. They added only 17, I think, from the overnight score of 133 for 8. Is Kuldeep Yadav of the old bat? He missed out on playing one IPL. Injuries have troubled him as well. But from whatever little we've seen of him so far in this test match, a 5-wicket haul is always special. Is he back to his best?
I think so. I personally feel, I won't say Kuldeep is back to where he was. I think he's become better than what he was. That's what I honestly feel, because
Wow.
of the technical changes that he's made and the rhythm that he is having, bowling over the wicket and around the wicket, getting the ball to turn from both sides of the wicket. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Even the one over he bowled in the second innings, you could see the left-hander trying hard to defend. That is a good skill, and that is something that says that you're bowling well. So for me, he is going to be a key factor moving forward from here, because overall in world cricket, you don't see too many wrist spinners playing test cricket. So this is something that is a novelty. We saw recently in Pakistan and Abrar Ahmed doing what he did, but he's more of a mystery spinner. They also had Ahmed who bowled leg spin, but it is good to see wrist spin coming into the game of test cricket and creating an impact. You need that. They bring a certain sense of novelty to the game, and that is always beautiful to watch.
The approach of test captains to the concept of follow on also adds a lot of drama to test cricket, and that's a question that Rahul Dravid and KL Rahul would have thought about, and I'm going to do the same with DK in the hotspot. Now, DK, they did not do what you had suggested yesterday. It was a surprise decision to not enforce the follow on. India came out to bat, and before Pujara got going and played a very un-Pujara like knock, they were going fairly slowly. And some said, "Oh, this is not entertaining cricket. This is a very boring approach." But I suppose for Rahul Dravid, KL Rahul, and co, winning is more important than playing entertaining cricket because they do have their eyes set on that WTC final equation as well.
So let's look at why they did what they did. And for me, it is two reasons. They want to give the bowlers a break, especially the fast bowlers. You give them some time to relax. Even if it means 4-5 hours, they don't need to go back to back. Second thing, they would want a couple of batters to get those big hundreds, get into the rhythm of batting. Those are the only two reasons. And it is very understandable. I understand from the outside, it does look like we're used to, seeing countries play a little differently, and hence we want to adopt that. I think each test playing nation have their own style of cricket, but the key is to produce a result. And I can understand where they're coming from. Would it have been more entertaining probably if they'd done that? Maybe, yes. But I can understand where they're coming from in trying to give opportunities to make sure that whoever is batting are in good rhythm and the bowlers get enough rest, because they play so many games these days. Sometimes the turnaround time needn't be enough exactly. So I can understand where they're coming from.
Right, I know you're not a soil scientist or a botanist, but what did you make of how the pitch behaved? Because suddenly it looked like they were playing on a very different surface. Was it the quality of batting and bowling in the last innings and this one, or did the pitch suddenly behave very differently? I couldn't decide what happened.
I think it is. We got to understand. Stats say that most number of wickets actually fall on the third day, but it today defied most stats that happen in Chattogram for a start.
Yep.
Number two, I do think their bowling attack today was rather pedestrian with the lack of options. So when those kind of bowlers come and they're not able to give you those breakthroughs, it gives you enough evidence to suggest that they were not probably enjoying it and doing enough for the batters to be under pressure. What was interesting is even when India came, I thought there wasn't enough in the wicket. Though I feel tomorrow, the fourth day, will be the last day of this game and we'll end up getting all the 10 wickets. I do feel this pitch has been rather ordinary. It's not offered too much to the bowlers. Definitely not something the batters would enjoy batting in as well, because it was slow. It was rather low at a lot of the time. So overall, not a great test wicket. What is going to be interesting for me is the attitude with which the spinners come on tomorrow. I think there will be a little bit of reverse, mid part of the day, and hence at that time the fast bowlers would be more effective. But the spinners need to provide more inroads tomorrow.
Should the curator be worried about what the referee will say to the ICC about this pitch 2 days later?
Yes, I think the last time David Boone gave it a demerit point. It would have been interesting if India had obviously given the follow-on and the wickets had fallen. It would have been very different. But the match is going on for 4 days. But still, I think the match referee will have a rather close look at the wicket and see if it is the kind of wicket that's going to encourage crowds to come and watch Test cricket. If that is not the case, then the sport is losing out. You want wickets which aid the bowlers. I would actually rather have more bowling-friendly wickets in Test cricket than batting-friendly wickets, because that's how you get the crowd in, You get the beat-ins, you get the bouncers in play, you get the ball nipping back, and that's when Test cricket gets more interesting. I think we got to keep batting-oriented wickets more for white ball cricket, but for Test cricket, the more it is in favor of the bowlers, the better it is, because it'll be more interesting to watch.
Yes, the Bangladesh Cricket Board will have to then make amends in the second Test match, where they hope it'll be a better pitch. But day 4 tomorrow, time now for Fast Forward with Dinesh Khan. Now, Pujara's innings was not expected by anyone. I suppose Pujara himself didn't expect him, to bat the way he did. But this declaration, you reckon it should have come a little early, because this kind of score has never been chased. 395 happened courtesy Kyle Myers last year on this surface, but against an Indian attack that has Siraj, Kuldeep, Ashwin, it was unlikely that they would have chased even 450 or 425. Should that declaration have come in earlier?
No, I don't think so. If you've decided to obviously give time for your bowlers and the fact that you want to get your batters scoring some runs. There's no harm. There's no point rather in declaring too early. You've taken that decision knowing that you want to bat out major part of the day and then give them the last 10, 12 overs. And that is how it works, because as you reduce time for the batter, he is under a little more pressure because he wants to play till the end of the day. He doesn't want to lose his wicket. Generally, when one wicket falls, they'll send a night watchman that gives you the opportunity to pick another wicket. So I understand the declaration came at a time which was right, and it was obviously in favor of a batter getting 100, which is understandable, which was the point of the declaration. And we also have to understand there are still 2 full days to go. 180 overs of cricket is a lot, and I'm very, very sure we will be able to fold them by tomorrow.
And so Sunday is going to be a chutti for DK and myself from Crick Bus Chatter. But 12 overs were bowled in Bangladesh's second innings, DK. Only one to Kuldeep.
I mean, look, you have to understand. Two left-handers batting, Ashwin would be your first choice spinner. The fact that the fast bowlers have picked you early wickets, you give it to the fast bowlers as well. So I completely understand where KL Rahul is coming from. As I said, Ashwin has a better opportunity to pick a left-hander. Though I thought he bowled a touch too full, even though he bowled 5 overs, he wasn't able to create exactly too many inroads, except for the half chance that probably Shubman Gill tried for. But overall, I can't fault the bowling per se. I think there's a lot of sometimes you get rather desperate if you're bowling 10 overs, 12 overs to get that one wicket. Whereas tomorrow is going to be a full day's play. The bowlers will come in with a different mindset. The batters will be in a different mindset. And that's the difference. At the end of the day, cricket is a sport like most other sports that's played a lot between your ears. And that mindset makes the difference as to how you think and how you play on the field. So for the moment, I would think that bowling Kuldeep for 1 over wasn't such a cardinal mistake. Whereas tomorrow, I think he'll get a good run at those batsmen. And if he's able to produce another match-winning performance, and I'm expecting Ashwin to do obviously what he is used to doing. He was a touch full today, and I think he needs to pull his length back, and he'll see the rewards that he can reap with that.
10 wickets in the match for Kuldeep. You reckon that's happening? 5 more tomorrow?
Oh, well, I would love for that to happen, but honestly, I would also like Ashwin and Akshar to be amongst the wickets as well. So it's prediction is one thing, but I do think the Indian team would want Akshar and Ashwin to fire as well.
And the odds are clearly stacked against Bangladesh. They've got 6 sessions to play to either draw or win the test match, which seems highly improbable. There's not much different that they can do except just block, or do they just play their natural game and go for the big shots and hope that they can survive for 6 sessions?
Generally, what happens in these kind of games is the top order batsmen are trying hard to play out sessions. But the moment a couple of wickets fall, and if there is a cluster of wickets at any point, when you hit that 5-wicket mark and you see there is another 1 day or 1.5 days play to play, you will see them mentally giving up and play rather loose shots. And that is what causes the downfall, and you finish the match on that same day a lot of the times. So it is a mental skill. If you do notice, most of the wickets that we got were of rash shots or soft shots, so to say. There was nothing alarming in the wicket for it to produce some unbelievable deliveries here. So it's going to take a lot of mental effort. But once that 5th, 6th wicket falls, you can see the last 4 sometimes crumble rather fast because of the situation of the game.
And so given the scenario, given Bangladesh's brittle-looking batting, they should be able to finish it, wrap it up in 2 sessions tomorrow, shouldn't they?
I think that will be the ideal scenario. I think if they can get 4 wickets before lunch, you could see very well that the match gets so close to tea or just after tea.
Right. Saturday for a lot of people might be a holiday. You guys might have weekend plans to go away somewhere, some kind of weekend getaway, in which case you may not be able to watch the live action. But what you can do is spend 20 minutes on Crick Bus Chatter with me and DK tomorrow at Stumps. However, what you can do is sign up for Crick Bus Plus. That's where you can watch match clips, exclusive interviews, features, all that content, ad-free, available only on Crick Bus Plus. But yes, DK and I do hope to talk about a massive India win in day 4, hopefully in 2 sessions at the end of the second session tomorrow. So do join us on Crick Bus Channel. DK and I will be waiting tomorrow.